Yes, Your Honor.
Why did you do that when in your eyes he's been such a pain in the rear end to you and a smart ass? Why did you give him $4,000?
Because he's real good at holding money, Your Honor, and my wife works at Walmart. Seems like she likes to spend a lot of money and let it dwindle down.
Okay. Did you give him the Lexus? Did you give him the car? Or did you
No.
give it to him to use?
I gave it to him to use, you know.
Why didn't you take it back? If you gave it to him to use, if he was being a smart ass, why didn't you take it back from him?
Because my wife is using a Toyota, and I didn't want my son to walk to school. She had to go to work at 7 o'clock.
If I had a son that age who was being a chronic smart ass like you're portraying it, okay, and I was letting him use my car, I would say, you know what? Leave a half hour early and walk to school. If you're going to be a smart ass, I'm not going to let you use the car. See, the point is I don't believe you. I don't believe what you're trying to sell me.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, it is my understanding at least one individual would like to address the court.
Well, I've been with David for 20 years now. I've been married to him for 13 years, okay? I've tried to get him to change his medication, the Keppra. They put him on the Keppra when he had a pancreatitis, and it seemed to drastically, well, he was already kind of abusive, and it made it even worse after he took it. Me and my son both begged him. We got him to go to another doctor, university, up in Menor. They changed him out to another medication. He stopped taking it because he was getting constipated off of it, and he never went back and tried again. Now, as far as the car, he gave that car to my son, and my son has been paying him $600 a month for that car. And I have it wrote down that he has a record of it. Every time he paid him, wrote down in his book, okay? Now, I do love David. I eventually want him to get the mental health that he needs. I know that this man has problems, okay? He needs to get the mental health. I don't really know what else to say about it.
All right, thank you.
Oh, well, my son is a good kid. He goes to school, he gets good grades, and he has his license. So I don't know what you're talking about with that.
All this stuff they said was a lie. I can't trust him anymore. He did give me the car. We came to an agreement. He said he wasn't going to pay for it because he wasn't working anymore. He got fired from Body Code in 2022. And also, and this abuse has been going on ever since I was a child. I've been seeing my mom getting beat by him. With that box cutter situation, he did have a box cutter. He was slicing blunt, Your Honor. And they was arguing about something, and it turned physical, so I tried to break them up. And when I tried to break them up, he assaulted me, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, this case encompasses, as the court is aware, two different victims. Count 1 deals with his son, and Count 2 deals with his wife. Count 1 deals with an extended period of time that does include the incident with the box cutter and kicked in the nose. Prior to that incident, there was also an incident where he punched his son in the mouth and split his lip. That would have been in January of 2025, as well as where he put his hands around his neck, leaving some marks in November of 2025, with the kick in the nose and the box cutter being December of 2025. There were also various times of threats that were made. It's the state's understanding that that was a pretty constant, regular thing. The state was provided with recordings of various threats made by the defendant to either his son, his wife, or both of them. Going back to December of 2024, well over a dozen recordings of statements such as shooting or killing, hurting, things of that nature, as well as other behaviors that would be upsetting and concerning.
Well, part of that, if I'm correct in what I'm recollecting, is that the threat to kill him, and then get him to stand off with the cops so they kill him, right? Isn't that part of one of the
He has made
tirades?
He has made statements
Right.
that I don't know if that's included in the actual recording that I have, but that is
Okay.
information that I have received
Right.
as well. And he also told probation that if he wasn't able to be with his wife and his son, that he would kill himself. So he makes statements of that nature to multiple people at different times.
I don't believe what you're telling me. And specifically, there's an indication of a long-term use of cocaine also, that you talk about not using drugs. But more concerning than anything is your penchant for violence. You got a long-standing mental health problem that you've been under care for, and you sometimes, appears to me, sometimes treat, sometimes don't treat, and all the while using illicit drugs. Couple that with your anger problem, and you're a dangerous person. You've demonstrated objectively that you're a dangerous person. You have come here and you've tried to soft sell what you did, why you did it, and essentially blaming your son for being unruly and blaming your wife for letting him be unruly.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's the excuse that you've given for the physical assaults. And as I said, I don't believe that that's the case. I believe that you've been violent for quite a while, and you were violent in this situation. So that's what we're dealing with. Let's assume that that's accurate, and I'm not going to evaluate probation in Cuyahoga County. I'm not going to assess that, okay? But so you complete it. This verbal and physical abuse picks up, which culminates in you sitting here today. So whether you complete it or not is not very consequential in my thinking, because if you did complete it successfully, you went right back to the same activity that you've been dealing with this problem for upwards of 30 years, so you knew you had it, and now you're saying that it doesn't make any sense to me. There is a presumption that a prison sentence should be imposed in this case. You have not overcome that presumption. So in consideration of everything on count one, I'm going to sentence you to 36 months in prison. On count two, 18 months in prison. Those will be concurrent to one another, with credit for 78 days that you've served, and the costs are assessed. When you get out, you will be on post-release control to the parole authority for at least a year, up to 3 years. Anything further, Ms. Cutts?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Mulkey?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All rise.